time that the German Jews were persecuted and started to be, and were being gathered up for the gas chambers, they had achieved the highest levels of integration in German society. Many of them thought that they were truly German. They identified with German culture and German ideology, German literature, and contributed to its art, to its sciences, philosophy, and so forth. And yet, the convergence of various circumstances singled them out again, and they were persecuted. So the idea here, ladies and gentlemen, that we can throw up before this community all the things we've contributed to America, which is what I call, historical contributionism. We brag about how much we've contributed to America, how we built America, how we contributed to its arts, how we contributed to its science. And we can even go back into history and say, well, we taught your great forefathers, the Greeks, civilization. That's not going to save you. That provides very little defense when for one reason or another the people may decide to do so. They may say, oh yeah, you Egyptians, you were true Africans. We know that. You taught our Greek forefathers. Yes, we're aware of that. And you made great contributions on into the chamber. We'll remember you.
And she said, oh, they don't give me any respect. But it's interesting that you want respect from these youngsters when you're hardly contributing anything to their economic and social development at all. Why should they respect you? When you take your monies and your brain power and your other interests out and give it to another people, in a way, their anger and hostility has a certain logic to it. Because we've betrayed them. We have not given them an economic and social system and political system and network. We have not given them their inheritance and their due. We've robbed them of their inheritance. And consequently, they strike back at us with the only weapons that they're left with dishonor and with disrespect. And when we speak, they don't listen. Why should they? You don't pay my bills, right? In a way, they're right. What do we have to say about it? We are not feeding them. We are not caring for them. It's Big Daddy White Man. He's the ultimate papa in the world. So the only person I need to listen to is that one. And therefore, if we're to get back our self-respect and the respect of our children, then we have to establish control over our economic and social situation. The ownership of 125th Street, the ownership of all of these other streets around here, the ownership of downtown Manhattan is greater than any series of 10,000 lectures about the greatness of African people, I'm telling you. It's a contradiction to talk to your children about the greatness of African people. And then when they walk out, the whole community and everything is owned by somebody else. It's a joke. And in the end, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to be bothered with it. Because it doesn't develop into anything concrete, usable, a type of pride that doesn't take them anywhere, and they see often only leads them to trouble, and a kind of radicalism that doesn't permit them to become, quote unquote, a part of the so-called mainstream. African nationalism must pay. We must demonstrate to people that believing in this ideology is not taking the side of poverty and degradation, but is a movement into wealth, and a movement into power, and a movement into greatness. And this is a part of the thing I'm about there. I'm trying to demonstrate, hey, I believe in Africa. I love Africa. I am African. And I believe in the greatness of my people. And it what? It pays. It pays. There's wealth connected with this belief. There's power connected with this belief. There's strength and respect connected with this belief. Not just an empty knowledge of history and an empty boasting that tries to substitute for a hungry stomach, but something that's real, that translates into real power. And this is what we must demonstrate. And when our children can walk out and see that, the Africanness is absorbed into their very bone marrow. It becomes a part of their lifeblood. And there's no reason why we cannot think of taking over the economic reins of this country